Okay guys, Rodney McClure, Gasket Pro Tools. I've had a request on how to repair a chipped blade or a nicked blade, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and this is probably gonna sound arrogant. I've not chipped one yet. I'm not saying it don't happen, I've seen it or whatever. I've got this piece of film laying down here and I'm just putting moderate pressure on this and doing it, and you see it's not leaving any streaks. Now I tried hard to figure out a way to chip this thing, and I'm gonna try to get this pretty close up here so you can see the edge of the blade. This is it's my personal blade, and I guess I'm gonna do the unthinkable. And what happens is I'm not gonna do like a lot of folks and go and answer these questions by going, oh, that's user error, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Hey, look, it's a physical thing, it's a tool, stuff happens. I don't chip mine because the only place this right here goes is door glasses. I don't use it anywhere else. I use the Hydra for windshields and for back glasses. And a lot of the culprits for these getting chipped is a couple of different things. One being the mount for the rear view mirror on the windshield, and the other being defroster and antenna tabs on the back glass. This is a harder tool than the Hydra. But anyway, we're gonna go on with this right here. Let's say you do chip your, and I'm gonna call it favorite blade. I love them, they changed my game. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna take my blade, and again, I'm gonna show you that no streaks and just moderate pressure. Now I'm gonna figure out a way to chip this thing. I'm gonna take this pair of snips here. I'm gonna all right, we got some ugly little nicks in this thing right here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but that's where they're at, right here. Now, you know how bad that pains me to do that to my blade. Y'all see what's happened here? Can you guys see what it's doing? Now, I'm gonna attempt to do this. There's two ways you can do this. One, I'm gonna take this piece of sandpaper, and this is 400 grit, wet or dry. I use this to sand my hard cars with. And I'm using window clearance because it's handy, because it's white so you can see that. I'm gonna take this blade and I'm gonna drag it. Actually, I can't do what I was gonna do. I'm not prepared. Let me get a block of wood to set this up on. All right, here's the one we chipped. I'm gonna take this, and if this right here doesn't work first, I take the block of wood, hold my sandpaper on, and I'll raise it up like this. And I'm gonna go back and forth like this, and I'm gonna go in circular motion. I'm gonna go back and forth again. You don't really want to radius this edge off, because the sharper the edge, the more water or material it pushes. That's a pretty deep gouge. I'm gonna have to take a good bit off of this. Now I'm gonna take this thing and put it flat, making sure this right here, this edge is square with the sanding block or sandpaper. I'm gonna do it like this. Now some folks may suggest heat it up. I'll go ahead and tell you, the properties of this blade right here is derived by a certain amount of temperature when it's extruded, and all the other things encompassed gives it the glide it has, the durability it has. If you go to heating it, it may be like untempering metal. You may take some of the goodie out of the blade, and then it no longer function like it should function. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way here. Again, I wasn't really prepared. I'm sort of shooting from the hip. And what I'm doing right here is I'm doing this exactly how I would do it if I had that issue. Now I can still feel some nicks in this, so I'm gonna say my first pass is probably not gonna be clean. All right, we're down to 2 streaks. We got 2 in the center, and I really did. I nicked it pretty good with that thing. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's right here, this dark spot, and here. So here's the other thing. It takes me a minute. I take this on a whet rock and get this sharp. Now this right here is a Stanley planer, just a wood planer. That's all it is. But I've got my angle set exactly like I want on here, so there's barely enough blade protruding through. Now, I'm going to show you how I do this on my hard cards and everything else. I start by pushing it forward. The blade's facing this way, so I push it forward so it's not cutting. Then I'll bring this thing back, and I do it about 3 passes, 4, 5, 6 passes. And I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna feel my blade, see if my nick's still there. It's almost gone. I'm gonna hit it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You see the shavings falling off. See them right here? That's your shavings. All right. Then I'm gonna lay it flat like this. I'm gonna make a pass this way. I'm gonna turn the blade around and make a pass this way. Now it's gonna leave a little bit of tab on the end. Now here's the thing. When it does this, it leaves a little tab here on the end and on the end over here. You can sand that off with a piece of sandpaper. You can cut it with a knife. You can do whatever. But what we're trying to do is get the streaking out of the center. Now I'm gonna spray this again. It's cured. Your nicks are gone. Now that could probably happen without even using the sandpaper, but if you guys see this, I sheared that off the edge of this thing, and now we have a perfect edge back on the blade. Now I'm going to show you on the ends, even though these tabs look like little devil horns here sticking up or here from where we sheared it, the edge is perfect. It's back down to where it needs to be, and the way to get those off is I'll take my blade, I'll lay it right here on the block of wood or whatever. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn it over like this so it gives us a different angle. I'm hoping you guys can see this, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to or not. I take my knife and barely shear the edge off, just like that. Now the edge is gone. We'll hit it one more time. That's how you fix the edge. This is about 12 or 13 bucks. Now, when you buy it, you aren't gonna be able to grab it and run it straight through. You're gonna have to piddle with it and get the edge just right. But once you do, this is an old blade. You can see the notch out of this thing right here. This is just a piece that's left over. But I can take this thing and I can just grind the blade down to nothing, but it puts a perfect new edge back on it every time. Then I'll flip it over and go this way with it. You don't want that blade sticking up too far, because I'm going to tell you, you'll lose a knuckle or a fingerprint if you're not careful. But you see here, we're making, looks like spaghetti squash. It always leaves a tab on the end. So you just take your knife, and look how durable this stuff is. You take your knife and knock it off, or you put it over here on a piece of sandpaper and hit it. Now, I'm going to take this right here, I'm going to pop this blade out of this. I'm going to stick this in here. This is just a rough piece of material that I had laying around, but you've seen the edge I just put on it. I'm going to knock that piece right there off. And watch this. That's how you do it, guys. I hope this helps all of you. And again, Rodney McClure,